Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we gather to honor six extraordinary American legends whose lives have left an indelible mark on the worlds of art and culture. These people didn't just create, they inspired, blazed new trails, and gave us moments that will stay in our hearts for a lifetime. Joe Flaherty, an American actor and comedian whose name is forever linked to the cult show SCTV and memorable roles in film and television, passed away on April 1st, 2024, at the age of 82. His passing is a loss to the world of comedy, where he left an indelible mark as one of the most talented and original performers of his time. Joe, whose real name is Joseph O'Flaherty, was born on June 21, 1941, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. From an early age, he showed an interest in the arts and performing, which led him to join the famous troupe, the Second City in Chicago. It was there that he honed his skills in improvisation and comedy. Flaherty later moved to Toronto, where he became one of the founders and key members of the Canadian sketch show SCTV, Second City Television. SCTV became a platform for Joe to showcase his full range of comedic talents. His characters, such as Guy Caballero, the eccentric owner of a fictional TV station, and many other memorable roles, brought him recognition and popularity. His ability to create unique, sometimes absurd characters made him one of the highlights of the show, which gained a cult status. In addition to his television success, Flaherty has made several memorable film appearances. One of his most famous roles was a scene in Back to the Future Part 2, 1989, where he played a Western Union messenger. He was also highly praised for his role as Harold Weir in Freaks and Geeks, 1999, where he showed a more dramatic and emotional side to his acting. Flaherty's career was not limited to comedy, however. He also taught acting, passing on his knowledge and experience to a younger generation of performers. His colleagues and students remember him as a generous mentor with an unrivaled sense of humor and endless energy. Joe Flaherty passed away in Toronto, Canada, after a short illness. His daughter, Gudrun, said he remained devoted to his art and his family. Colleagues like Martin Short described him as a hilarious man who could inspire everyone at the table. Joe Flaherty's death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on in the hearts of fans and those who were inspired by his work. His characters, unique style, and talent continue to bring smiles and reminders that true humor is timeless. Earl Holliman, American actor, whose career spanned more than 5 decades, passed away on November 25, 2024, at the age of 96. His passing marked the end of an era for Hollywood, where he was known as a talented entertainer, a Golden Globe winner, and an outspoken advocate for animal rights. Earl was born on September 11, 1928, in the small town of Delhi, Louisiana. His childhood was not easy. He lost his parents early and grew up in a foster family. From a young age, he showed an interest in art and aspired to a better life. After serving in the United States Navy, Holliman decided to pursue his dream of becoming an actor and enrolled in the Academy of Dramatic Arts in Pasadena, California. His film career began in 1953 with small roles, but by the mid-1950s he had become a prominent figure in Hollywood. In 1956, Holliman won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the film Police. That same year he starred in such classics as Forbidden Planet and Giant, which cemented his reputation as a versatile and charismatic actor. On television, Holliman rose to fame as Sergeant Bill Crowley in the series Policewoman, 1974-1978. His work on the series earned him a Golden Globe nomination and made him one of the most recognizable faces of American television. Another iconic performance was his role in the first episode of The Twilight Zone, 1959, which remains one of the most talked about episodes of the cult show. In addition to his acting career, Holliman has dedicated his life to animal rights. For over 25 years, he led actors and others for animals, working to improve the living conditions of pets and combat animal cruelty. His work in this area has earned him recognition not only among his peers but also in society. Holloman's personal life remained private for a long time. It was only in 2015 that he publicly confirmed his homosexuality. At the time of his death, his husband was Craig Curtis, who supported him until his last days. Earl Holloman left a deep mark on the world of film and television, as well as on social activism. His talent, kindness, and dedication to his principles have inspired and will continue to inspire for many years to come. His name will be remembered as a symbol of an era when acting skills were combined with a sincere desire to change the world for the better. Gavin Creel, a talented American actor, the singer and composer whose career was inextricably linked to Broadway musicals, died on November 30, 2024, at the age of 48, after a battle with a rare form of cancer, melanotic peripheral Schwann sarcoma. His passing has left a deep sadness in the theater industry, where he became one of the most vibrant and beloved performers of his time. Born April 18, 1976 in Findlay, Ohio, Gavin showed a talent for music and theater from an early age. He graduated from the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance, which laid the foundation for his professional career. He made his Broadway debut in 2002 in the musical Thoroughly Modern Millie, where his role earned him his first Tony Award nomination. Creel continued to win critical and popular acclaim for his roles in productions such as Hair, 2009, for which he was again nominated for a Tony, and The Book of Mormon, where his performance on London's West End earned him a Laurence Olivier Award. His greatest triumph, however, was his performance as Cornelius Hackle in the revival of Hello, Dolly, 2017, opposite Bette Midler. He won a Tony Award for his performance, which cemented his status as a star. Gavin was not only a distinguished actor, but also an active advocate for social rights. In 2009, he co-founded Broadway Impact, an organization aimed at supporting marriage equality. He was actively involved in social initiatives, using his popularity to promote social change. The tragic illness tested Creel, but he remained an inspiring example of strength and optimism until the very end. Following his death, the theater community held a memorial ceremony for Gavin at the St. James Theater in New York City on December 2, 2024. Colleagues and friends remembered him as a bright, kind, and incredibly talented man whose performances left an indelible mark on the history of musical theater. Gavin Creel left behind not only a wealth of amazing performances, but also an inspiration for future generations of performers. His dedication to the arts and to the community lives on in the hearts of those who had the privilege of knowing him personally or enjoying his work on stage. Jim Abrahams, legendary director. The screenwriter and producer known for his iconic comedies passed away on November 26, 2024, at the age of 80. His work, which changed the comedy genre forever, continues to delight audiences around the world with his unique style and inimitable humor. Born May 10, 1944 in Shorewood, Wisconsin, to a Jewish family, Jim was fascinated by cinema and theater from an early age. He was friends with brothers Jerry and David Zucker, with whom he later formed the famous creative trio known as Zaz. Their joint projects became the standard of the comedy genre, combining absurdity and wit. In 1977, Abrahams and the Zucker brothers released The Kentucky Fried Movie, a satirical sketch comedy. The film was the precursor to their greatest success, the cult comedy Airplane, 1980. The film, a parody of disaster films, became a sensation, grossing $83 million on a budget of only $3.5 million. The success of Airplane made Abraham's name synonymous with innovative comedy. In the 1980s and 1990s, Jim continued to work in the parody genre, creating projects such as the TV series Police Squad and the films The Naked Gun, 1988, and its sequels. These works brought him worldwide popularity and solidified his status as a master of absurd humor. In the 1990s, he directed the parodies Hot Shots and Hot Shots, Part 2, which also became hits and audience favorites. Abraham's personal life was closely tied to his family. He was married to Nancy Cocuzzo, with whom he raised 3 children. When his son Charlie was diagnosed with epilepsy, Jim dedicated himself to finding treatments and became an active advocate of the ketogenic diet. He founded the Charlie Foundation to help cure pediatric epilepsy, to raise awareness of the benefits of this approach. Through his efforts, thousands of families have learned about a new way to combat the disease. Jim Abrahams passed away at his home in Santa Monica, California, of natural causes. Colleagues, friends, and fans remember him as a man who was always full of ideas and a willingness to share his humor. His films continue to inspire new directors and remain an example of inimitable comedy craftsmanship. Jim Abrahams left behind a legacy that cannot be overstated. His work has become part of the history of world cinema, and his contribution to the development of the comedy genre will be remembered for many years to come. Liam James Payne, a talented British singer, songwriter, and former member of the famous band One Direction, died tragically on November 16, 2024, at the age of 31. His death in Buenos Aires, Argentina, shocked millions of fans in the music industry. Liam was born on August 29, 1993, in Wolverhampton, England. From an early age, he showed an interest in music and art, which led him to appear on The X Factor in 2010. There, he became part of the boy band One Direction, which was formed from the members of the show. The group quickly gained popularity, becoming one of the most successful boy bands in history. Their hits, such as What Makes You Beautiful and Story of My Life, were heard all over the world, and their albums repeatedly reached the top of the charts. After the band split in 2016, Liam began a solo career. His debut album LP1*, released in 2019, featured hits like Strip That Down and Stack It Up, which received critical and fan acclaim. He continued to work in the music industry, collaborating with other artists and experimenting with different genres. However, Liam's later years were marred by personal issues. He spoke openly about his struggles with mental health and the pressures of fame. Shortly before his death, he was on tour in South America, performing a series of concerts. On October 16, 2024, tragedy took his life in Buenos Aires. Liam fell from the 3rd floor of his hotel room. He had reportedly been acting strangely prior to the incident, and hotel staff had to escort him back to his room. The reasons for his behavior remain a subject of debate, with many speculating that it may have been related to his psychological state. Liam's death is a huge loss for his family, friends, colleagues, and millions of fans around the world. His talent, charisma, and sincerity made him a crowd favorite. His music remains a living reminder of his gift to inspire and unite people. Liam Payne left behind not only a strong legacy in the music industry, but also an example of a man who wasn't afraid to be vulnerable and share his experiences. His songs continue to resonate as a reminder of what an incredible artist he was. Wesley Cox, basketball great and respected member of the Louisville community, passed away on November 17, 2024, at the age of 69. His life was an example of determination, fortitude, and dedication. Born January 27, 1955 in Louisville, Kentucky. Already in his school years, he showed himself to be a talented athlete, becoming one of the best players at Male High School. His success continued at the University of Louisville, where he played for the basketball team from 1973 to 1977. In 1977, Cox was selected in the first round of the NBA draft by the Golden State Warriors. Over 2 seasons, he played 74 games, demonstrating his potential and tenacity. After finishing his professional career, he returned to his hometown where he dedicated himself to working for the benefit of society. Wesley held a variety of positions, including teaching and working in economic development. He was known for his compassion and desire to help young people. Despite serious health issues in recent years, including diabetes and kidney disease, he remained resilient and an inspiration to those around him. His death was a loss to Louisville and all who knew him personally. The funeral was held on November 23, 2024, and many people came to honor Wesley Cox, who left an indelible mark on the history of basketball and his community. Shannon Maria Doherty, a talented actress, director, and producer, died on November 23, 2024, at the age of 53, after a nearly decade-long battle with cancer. Her life and career were a shining example of resilience, talent, and dedication, making her one of television's most beloved and memorable stars. Born April 12, 1971 in Memphis, Tennessee, Shannon showed an interest in the arts from a young age. Her acting career began at an early age when she appeared in the TV series Father Murphy, 1981. However, her real fame came with her role as Brenda Walsh in the cult TV series Beverly Hills, 90210. This project made her one of the most popular young actresses of the 1990s and an icon of an entire generation. Her image of the smart but sometimes impulsive Brenda became a symbol of the conflicts that teenagers faced at that time. After leaving Beverly Hills, 90210 in 1994, Shannon continued her career in film and television. Another highlight of her career was her role as Prue Halliwell on the television series Charmed, 1998-2001. Prue, the eldest of the Witch sisters, combined strength and vulnerability, and her relationships with her sisters became the basis of the plot. In addition to playing the lead role, Shannon also tried her hand at directing several episodes of the show. Her contributions to the series helped it become one of the most popular fantasy series of its time. However, her success in her professional life was accompanied by difficulties in her personal life. Shannon faced criticism for her difficult personality, which affected her working relationships. Despite this, she always remained dedicated to her art and sincere in her beliefs. Shannon was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015. She has been open about her battle with the disease, inspiring others to get regular checkups and support cancer patients. In 2017, she declared remission, but unfortunately, in 2020, the cancer returned and reached stage 4, spreading to her brain and bones. Despite her worsening condition, Shannon continued to work, participate in community activities, and share her experiences, showing incredible resilience. Shannon Doherty passed away at her home in Malibu, California, surrounded by family and close friends. Her passing is a huge loss for her fans, colleagues, and the entire entertainment industry. Many remember her as a talented actress, a strong person, and a true inspiration. Her work lives on in the hearts of viewers, reminding them of the power of art and the human spirit. Shannon Doherty has left a legacy that will inspire future generations and will forever remain a symbol of resilience, talent, and love for life. Shel Talmy, iconic music producer, who had a revolutionary influence on the development of British rock in the 1960s, passed away on November 23, 2024, aged 87. His contributions to the music industry and innovative approach to hit-making changed the sound of rock music forever. Sheldon Talmy was born on August 11, 1937 in Chicago, Illinois. He spent his childhood surrounded by jazz, blues, and early rock and roll melodies, which inspired young Shel. His passion for music and recording techniques became his true passion. After graduating from high school, he moved to Los Angeles, where he began his career as a recording engineer, learning all the intricacies of studio work. A move to London in 1962 was a turning point in his life. Talmy brought with him from America new ideas and recording techniques that were not yet popular in Britain. These approaches attracted the attention of young musicians who were looking for new sounds for their compositions. Soon Talmy began collaborating with bands that would later become legends. His work with the Kinks brought him worldwide fame. In 1964, he produced the hit "You Really Got Me," which became not only the band's signature song, but also a turning point in the development of rock music. The song's sound, with its distinctive guitar riffs and bright vocals, was so powerful and new that it instantly shot to the top of the charts. Talmy's collaboration with The Who was another career highlight. The song "My Generation," which he produced, became an anthem for 1960s youth culture. The energy and fury of the song, as well as its lyrics, perfectly captured the spirit of the times. It was under Talmy's guidance that The Who were able to realize their daring sound, which would later become their signature style. Shell also worked with other artists including Manfred Mann, the Easy Beats, and David Bowie when he was just starting out. His ability to spot talent and bring out its potential was unique. He was able to create an atmosphere in the studio where artists felt free to experiment. In the late 1970s, Talmy returned to Los Angeles, where he continued to work in the music industry, but also began writing about his experiences and memories. His work became not only a history of the era, but also a source of inspiration for young producers and musicians. Shell's personal life remained closed to the general public. He was married, raised a daughter, and remained true to his passion for music until the end of his life. In his later years, he suffered from a number of chronic illnesses, but continued to actively take an interest in modern musical trends and support up-and-coming artists. Shel Talmy died at his home in Los Angeles, surrounded by his loved ones. His death was a loss to the music world, but his legacy lives on. The songs he helped create are still played on the radio today, and his name remains synonymous with innovation and creativity in the music industry. His work will forever be a part of history, inspiring new generations of musicians and producers. Joe Biden is a figure who has been at the forefront of American politics for decades. His story is one of a man whose life is filled with triumphs and tragedies, incredible tenacity, and deep compassion. Biden was born on November 20, 1942, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, to a middle-class family. His journey from working-class kid to President of the United States is a story of self-belief, overcoming adversity, and a commitment to serving his country. Biden began his political career at age 29, becoming one of the youngest senators in U.S. history. But his early success was marred by tragedy. Just weeks after winning the election, his first wife, Nelia, and their one-year-old daughter, Naomi, were killed in a car crash. Sons Bo and Hunter, who survived the crash, were in serious condition. Biden was faced with a choice: give up his career to focus on his family, or continue his political journey. He chose the latter, but did so on his own terms, commuting daily by train from Delaware to Washington, D.C. to be with his sons. Over his decades in the Senate, Biden became known as an expert on international affairs, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. His ability to connect with members of both parties helped him earn the respect of his colleagues. But his journey has not been without flaws. He has made mistakes, suffered setbacks, and faced criticism on numerous occasions. But each time, he has come back stronger. One of the most memorable periods of his career was his 8-year term as vice president under Barack Obama. Biden played a key role in many decisions, including the withdrawal of troops from Iraq, the economic recovery from the 2008 recession, and the advancement of healthcare reform. His personal grief caught up with him again in 2015, when his eldest son, Beau, died of brain cancer. It was a blow that would have broken anyone, but Biden found the strength to carry on. When Biden became the 46th president of the United States, he took on enormous responsibility during one of the most challenging periods in the country's history. His administration faced the COVID-19 pandemic, an economic crisis, societal polarization, and threats from international actors. He also played a major role in supporting Ukraine in its fight for sovereignty, providing significant financial and military aid. But despite all his success, Biden's age has always been a topic of discussion. In 2024, when he turned 82, he became the oldest sitting U.S. president. This has led to many rumors about his health. Biden has repeatedly assured the public that he is in good shape, continuing to serve in his current capacity. However, his decision not to run for re-election has raised questions. The latest news about Biden came after he gave a public speech in which he spoke of the need for unity and hope. His words were imbued with philosophical depth, as if he wanted to leave behind something more than just a political legacy. Within days, rumors about his condition began to circulate, but there was no official confirmation. Biden is a man whose life has become a symbol of the American dream, of struggle and resilience. Whether he is still with us or not, his story will forever be a reminder that the most important thing is not to avoid falling, but to be able to get up and move on.